Don't listen to the trolls and the talking heads. Cam Ward played well against the Atlanta Falcons, even if the offense didn't. And I'm going to show you what I saw on tape on today's film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans. Titans fans, welcome in to another film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans, your home for Tennessee Titans X's and O's. I am your host, Tyler Rowland, 25 years as a Tennessee Titans fanatic. I've covered the team for USA Today, Sports Illustrated, and hosted the #1 Tennessee Titans podcast, Locked on Titans, for 7 seasons now. On today's film breakdown, we're going to take a look at the performance of Cam Ward in his second preseason game against the Atlanta Falcons. You look at the box score, 2 for 7, 42 yards, no points on 3 drives. You look at the talking heads and what the troll accounts are going to be putting out, and you would think that Cam Ward played poorly. But look closer, as we like to do on the show, and you will see that Cam Ward had a couple of dots, some highlight plays, some real command and control of the offense. It was a great performance, and I think it might have been better than what he did in Week 1 against the Buccaneers. Now, before we dive into today's film breakdown, do want to remind you to get subscribed, stay subscribed for year-round free Tennessee Titans film content. Make sure that you throw a Titan up down in the chat, throw a thumbs up on the video. Later this week, I'm going to have more film breakdowns on the Tennessee Titans rookie offensive weapons who had good days out there. We're also going to take a look at some stuff on the defensive side of the ball with the linebacker battle. But with all that being said, you know what it's time to do, folks. Let's step into the film room. Our very first play is the explosive to Elikayo Manor, and what I like about this play a lot is it's a really smart design from Brian Callahan against the coverage that the Atlanta Falcons like to use, which is cover 4. It's a little bit different than seeing Tampa Bay last week, but what I want to show you about this, Atlanta is in their cover 4, and anything that goes vertically on the outside corners, they're going to run with. So this is going to be quarter, 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 quarter. So what happens with these quarter coverages is these guys have to kind of watch the play as it develops and then decide their matchup depending on what the wide receivers do. And with that, you can use one wide receiver and hold multiple defenders at once. So what happens is you're going to have Van Jefferson, who's going to go vertically like this, and it's going to pull both of these defenders this way. And then you're going to have Chimdike in the point right here. He's going to come up and he's going to sit down, and it's going to hold both of these guys. Well, if it's a cover 4 and you have quarter, 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 and then you have your curl flat, and then your one hook defender. Well, if you can use DK to hold these two right here, and you can use this vertical route from Van Jefferson to hold these two right here, what the Titans are going to do is they're going to slip the back out into the flat, which is going to occupy this defender. And then Chigokongwu is going to come out this way, and he's going to occupy this defender. And what it allows is Elikayo Manor to come up here and then break inside. And once he gets over in here, there's nobody there. Cam Ward does a good job of rolling out and finding him and making the play. So you can see right here what I mean. There's a hold right here because of this guy. Hold right here because of these. Curl flat starting to come up. And here comes Elik. Right in there. Cam getting out of the pocket. Making plays. Gunslinger. Playmaker. Great throw on the run. Gives him a chance to get upfield and get extra yards. Really great play from Cam Ward. This is exactly the kind of stuff that we should expect from Cam Ward. J.C. Latham did get credited for allowing a hurry on this play. Got beat inside, but Cam Ward, presence, confidence, calm, cool, collected, delivers, makes the play. So here we go with our second play of Cam Ward. I like that he's under center right here. Play action fake. Pro quarterback stuff. Nobody open, penalty comes in, and Cam just launches one out of bounds. And look, I would tell you that if you want to say, oh, this is a bad throw by Cam Ward, he's way out of bounds, he's trying to hit it to Van Jefferson. All right, fair enough. I could understand that. But if you look here, I don't think anyone's open. The Falcons are in man coverage. So one here, right here, right here. They have 2 zone defenders, the back deep safety right here, and then their intermediate hook linebacker is right here. There's nobody open for Cam Ward on this play. Everyone's covered. I mean, look where we're at right here. Who's open? He's on him, like white on rice. He's right here with the linebacker chilling. He's right here with the safety, because this is a vertical route. Obviously covered. If you want to keep going, Cam's out of the pocket now. But, I mean, this in-breaking route would be covered here. Safety's coming with him. So, Van Jefferson's going to get on his horse and go this way. I think this is DK is going to turn back around and come this way. Could be IO. Hard telling with the numbers from this distance. But anyway, if you want to say Cam should hit this guy right here, fine. I think Cam, and when we look at the other one, I think he saw the flag, and he just, like, out of frustration, hucks it out here. Either way, not inbounds to be intercepted, not a turnover-worthy play. I'm happy with that. Nothing was coming to that anyway. There's a flag. Play action, stand in the pocket. Nobody's open. I like just the look of him coming out of center. Titans need more of that. Pressure starts to come. Let's see if we can make a play. Nothing's there. Whatever. So here's the Van Jefferson drop, and it's a beautiful concept from Callahan, a vertical concept that Cam Ward likes. We aren't window shopping, okay? It's very similar to the Calvin Ridley concept that we got on the explosive last week. If you go back to how the play looks, it's very similar. It's not exactly the same, but we have a deep post here from the slot. We have a 9 route here, go route, and then we have the deep crossing route, which is, it was a double post with the deep crosser for Calvin Ridley, but very similar concept here. And it's quarters coverage again from the Falcons, which they like to run. So he's going to stay with him. Quarter here, quarter here, quarter here. And you see them all come and run. And this guy comes over to try to help. And it opens up a beautiful space right over here for Van Jefferson. A little further down the field, but to scale. So Cam Ward, deep drop, great protection, has a lot of time. You can see that the 2 vertical routes up here are pulling these 3/4 safeties. This guy is in man, but he's trailing. And you're beat. Cam has to get this away from this linebacker. That's all he has to do, because he's on his, 3 yards behind him. So all he's got to do is get this past the linebacker, and man, what a dot. I mean, what a dot. What a dot. And here's the problem. Here's the issue. Van Jefferson is your 3rd wide receiver. And look, Van Jefferson is like an NWI level wide receiver for a team, but the Titans just don't have enough talent at wide receiver. Think about how many wide receivers you see on Sundays. Catch this and maybe house it. I mean, look at it. Catch, run. And remember, Calvin Ridley was out, Tony Pollard was out, Tyler Lockett was out, but I just think about other teams, not even just the Titans, and I'm like, the Titans have Van Jefferson ready to play a crucial role as a wide receiver for Cam Ward, and think if he had, imagine if he had even halfway good weapons group. Like, what a dot, man. What a throw by Cam Ward there. Great design by Callahan, too, to threaten the coverage that he knows that the Falcons like to run. Everything about this is good except the catch. All right, 3rd down now, and Brian Callahan calls a surrender screen. So again, am I being too critical of Callahan here? It's the preseason. It's 3rd and 13. Let's just throw a quick screen. Forget it. Let's get Cam off the field. Okay, maybe that is the right way to play it, but I don't like it. I wanted to see him go downfield. Let's try to get a 1st down. So I hate this, to be honest with you. And okay, so this is an incompletion for Cam Ward. It's nothing, you know what I mean? And people are going to use it to make him look bad when this isn't his fault. Now, here's what I would tell you. This linebacker shoots out really fast, and Cam is trying to keep it outside as much as he can. Now, initially during watching this on TV, I thought this might have had a chance of being like on the line or even backwards. It's definitely a yard forward. He throws it from here at like the 39 and it goes to like the 38. But because of the pressure from the linebacker here, the edge rusher coming off, there's no way that this is going to work anyways. Incomplete. Not going to get on Cam Ward about that. Say that, oh, it's not a good throw, man. Looking at it on the tape. That's why it's important to go back to the tape. You know, you see it on the TV copy, it looks one way, and I was wrong about the way that it looked. Not quite as bad as it seemed, and honestly, a smart decision by Cam Ward to just do what he did there. All right, so we have another screen, of course, and I understand the idea of this screen, but in execution, I wish it went quicker for the Titans. A lot of Brian Callahan's plays that I don't like from last year are just plays that went too slow, and that's not a great block from Chim DK, if we're honest, and that makes it tough. But you're just going to have two blocks out here, quick swing screen on the half orbit motion. He comes back here, he comes back out, quick screen out to here. Tie it in with a little bit of a play action fake to hopefully get these guys to cut inside. And then you have 1-on-1 on 1, and you bet on your skill position player to make a guy miss, and you might have an advantageous matchup. These sorts of plays can really be helpful for the Titans offense this year, but like, look how slow it is. Like, I just wish that these plays were faster. Have him not so deep. Have him here. You know what I mean? And then he can get upfield quicker before he's contacted. Here he's getting contacted like right at the line of scrimmage. He's 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage right here when he's having to make somebody miss. If that was up 2 or 3 yards, now instead of being a 2-yard gain, this is a 5-yard gain, and those little quick screens actually can be an extension of your run game. But I just think these things happen too deep. It's like a lot of the slow developing runs that Callahan designed last year. I just want to see this stuff go quicker. So this one is a little bit frustrating to me because it's very similar to the Van Jefferson play, the very first throw of Cam Ward's from Tampa Bay, where this is just a spacing communication error from Cam Ward and the wide receiver. It's Chim DK, but Titans just run their classic sit-down routes. This is like their base play, like their most common base play when they're in 3rd and long. They're going to have come inside, sit down, come inside, sit down, you come right here, sit down. I think there's 2 flat routes tied to it to try to pull people down and create more space over here. But they literally ran this same play multiple times last year and last week. You know, he threw it into Chigakonkwo on 3rd and 9 for 10 yards on this middle hook play right here to Chim DK. So you can see it happening, little chips from the outside guys to help the tackles, and then they get to the flats, and hopefully you pull them down. Pull somebody down. Now you got right here, that's not going to be there because there are 2 guys on it. You got this here. That might have a chance because there's only going to be 1. But look at the linebacker. The linebacker's facing this way. All right, so his momentum's pulling him this way, and this safety is coming. But Cam Ward has arm arrogance and arm talent. So what he should be able to do is fit this into DK. But here's where the miscommunication happens, okay? Instead of continuing across the field away from this linebacker and away from the safety, DK sits down. And Cam Ward, once again, like we saw with Van Jefferson last week, Cam Ward throws it expecting him to go this way, and DK sits down this way, and they're a little off kilter, and now it's an incompletion. So that's the sort of stuff that you want to see in the preseason, because these should be ironed out like, hey, look how DK sits right down. And Cam Ward throws him to the hash, okay? DK comes out, and DK is trying to sit down right here in the middle of the hashes. Cam throws it to this hash. So that's just a miscommunication, and in my opinion, Cam Ward did the right thing, because by settling down right here behind this linebacker, the linebacker is closer to the conflict. So I think Cam Ward did the right thing, in my opinion, of throwing it this way, trying to lead him away from both defenders that could conflict him. You can see, and then DK has to dive out to the right-hand side to try to make the catch. So to me, that's another miscommunication. We could see it pretty good from this angle as well. See? He's right here. Cam's ball is going here. Now, what I will tell you is, what I like from Cam Ward right here, other than I think he made the right decision, is he does throw with a little bit of anticipation, which is good in these contested situations. Look, Cam is loading up to throw, and Chim is not, he's ready to go. And that's why I think if Chim comes right here, this is not only a catch and a first down, but it's a catch and run opportunity. So these are communication things they need to iron out with two rookies, but you can see it there. A couple of things that I really like about this play before we even start. Number one, more Cam Ward under center with play action fakes, getting him more into the groove of pro style situations. But also I like that Brian Callahan is trying to attack coverages. These are like base plays. Hey, when we play cover 4 teams, we want to run these plays. These should be our pet plays, our base plays we can count on. We saw it earlier in how he attacked it, and now we're going to see it again here. So Atlanta, if they're playing cover 4 principles, they're going to have a quarters guy right here, and they're going to have a quarters guy right here. And typically with quarters coverage, the rules are if you have number 1 out here and 1 goes vertical, then as the outside quarter, you need to go with him. Now, when you do that, you have Io Manor who runs the out route. So if you get a vertical route here, that should pull this corner who's in quarters and leave you a wide open out here. But I'll tell you, Atlanta's corners and safety here, they did a good job of passing this off. Because look, the vertical route happened, but the safety, the quarter's safety, went over here to get it. And the corner's corner dropped off to take the outs. This is just really well-coached defense from Atlanta, in my opinion. This is just a pretty good job by them. In theory, this should be open. Now, should Cam have taken this on an early down and just get some yards, get some profit? I guess, but this guy's crashing. So I don't know that that's going to be super successful either. So maybe if this was a faster wide receiver like Calvin Ridley, you give your guy a chance to beat this safety in a one-on-one race. But I think this is a smart decision, to be honest with you. This is just the only bad throw of the day for Cam Ward. This ball sails on him. It's way out of bounds. Io doesn't really have a chance to get it. So to me, this is the only true bad throw that Cam Ward had. Play action fake, I like it. Set, hit your feet. Decisive. The right decision. But the ball is just a little high. Just a little high. Now that's a tough throw. That's good defense. Again, good defense by Atlanta. Maybe Io, a big wide receiver, you want to expect more from him there. Maybe that's fine. But either way, I would say out of all of these throws, that's the only throw that I didn't think was good from Cam Ward. It was just a little too high and outside. I really like a lot of things about this play. 5 wide spread, so totally different scenario than the under center play action stuff. Cam makes adjustments at the line of scrimmage, understands his matchup, understand what he's seeing out there, and makes an easy, nice, smooth delivery. These are the type of plays that didn't hit enough for the Titans last year. These are drive extenders. Right here, the Titans get an incompletion on first down. It's 2nd and 10. What are you going to do? All right, so what I like is Cam Ward adjusts at the line of scrimmage right before he snaps the ball. I want to show you how he audibles right here. You can see him doing it right there, but look. Checks to that side, changes the audibles on this side. All right, and I don't know if this is cat and mouse, if he's doing this to lull this side to sleep. Like, hey, I'm making adjustments on the trip side, so I'm probably going to throw to the trip side, right? Right at the last second, right before I'm snapping the ball, I'm adjusting this side. That makes you think that he's interested in doing something on this side. But no, the whole time, Cam Ward knows that what he's going to do is he's going to take advantage on the back side. There's a vertical route down here, and then Bryce Oliver is going to run a quick out route in one-on-one coverage, and look at him pointing it out to Cam Ward right there. But Cam Ward knows the whole time. Look how quick he makes the audible adjustment, snap the ball, immediately going to the other side. Like he knew. So I don't know if that's cat and mouse or just quick thinking, but great job. Fires it to Bryce Oliver, and again, it's 2nd and 10, and he gets 7 yards there on a nice, easy toss. Really high percentage throw, and now it's 3rd and 3. Now it's 3rd and 3. That's way more manageable than a 3rd and 10 or a 3rd and 8. And those plays right there, they seem small, folks, but those plays right there from Cam Ward can be the difference in the Titans' offense this year in 3 and outs and 3rd and longs and extending drives and getting more points. Adjusts, but immediately goes to the other side. Bang. All right, folks, so this is the final throw from Cam Ward of the day. It's the slot fade to Alec Io Manor that, in my opinion, you know, you could say you want Io as your big physical receiver. You could argue that you want him to make a better play on this, but I think it's pretty obvious that his hand was held. He got held during this, especially the TV replay that you could see. But I love the concept here. The Falcons are in man, and this is just a very simple concept where you have an out route right here. You got a sit-down route, which I would like to see get a little more width to give more opportunity, but we'll get into that. And then you get a good player, a big physical matchup in the slot, and you run the slot fade. I love this concept, and I think this is a staple, not only for Brian Callahan, but Cam Ward wants this. It gives him the opportunity to have a bunch of room with a one-on-one matchup, and he can just put the ball up and let his guy go to work. I want to see Gunnar Helm in situations like this. Calvin Ridley had a really nice play against Detroit last year on this exact play against this exact coverage. This is one of the Titans' pet man beaters. They like this slot fade concept. Now, I think Cam Ward, if you go back and look, he could probably hit this route right here maybe and extend the drive for 4 or 5 yards. But I don't mind giving Io Manor a chance. Give your playmakers a chance, especially in the preseason. So I love the route concept. I love the idea. I love Cam Ward, and he won the rep. He won, well, I say the rep, but he won off the snap. Look at Io in the slot, win off the snap. Boom, smaller player. He beats him vertically, stacks him, even leaving. He's got him, and I think the guy holds Io Manor there, and he holds his arm down right here again. I think this is a good throw. I think this is going to be a catch, and I think if this is the regular season, that's called a pass interference. Or I guess as a Titans fan, maybe it's not. But overall, this is a really good play by Cam Ward, and I honestly think it's a winning route. Now, you see down there, I guess if we go back to this view, you could say maybe you go to Chim DK right here because he's got speed and he's got the guy beat. But I would like this to have more depth because this guy could potentially squeeze into that if he's aware. But this is the right throw. I'm not going to argue with Cam. In the preseason, with Io winning like that, heck, in the regular season, if Calvin Ridley wins like that, I don't care if it's 3rd and 3. We ain't window shopping. Let's make the explosive play happen. That's what I want to see. So not mad about this at all. And quite frankly, it's a good throw and it's a good route. And it's a missed pass interference call. And like I talked about last week with the Bucs film, with the offensive line stuff, it's preseason. They do not want to call a bunch of penalties. All right, Titans fans, I hope you enjoyed that film breakdown on Cam Ward. Now you can let the trolls know that they don't know ball because Cam, well, obviously played much better than what the storyline is going to be about him this week. But now that you know that, with that being said, again, make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed for year-round free Tennessee Titans film content. I'm going to have more videos coming out this week, and then I'm going to be cranking it up as we get into the regular season. Make sure that you also check out the Locked On Titans podcast. It's the #1 Tennessee Titans podcast in the world for a reason. I take these informed film conversations and weave them into the big discussions and talking points that we all want to discuss on our favorite football team. But again, I am your host, Tyler Rowland. That's going to do it for today's film breakdown. As I tell you guys every single episode, tighten up.